Welcome to One Love Center for Spiritual Living. I'm Reverend Rodney Gittens. And happy July. Happy every moment. We're so grateful to be here today and that you are here with us today, or even if you're watching the recording. So glad that we could be in this space together. And this space, of course, is not limited to what we see physically with our eyes. We know that we encompass all space at all times. Oh, yeah. The topic of this month is rolling into deep. So we're getting deep. Yeah. And we're going to start as we usually do. Oh, by the way, we have an awesome guest. If you haven't seen her before, you are going to just love me so much more for having her, and love her so much more for being here, and love yourself so much more for participating. And we're going to start as usual with our opening song, Choosing Heaven today. And as I always say, what are you choosing for yourself this day? What does heaven look like for you in each moment? And remember, what you choose for yourself, you're choosing for all, because why? We're all one. So also, if you like, you can type in the comments what you're choosing for one and for all, and possibly have that included in our opening prayer. So here we go, choosing heaven. Greetings and welcome again to One Love Center for Spiritual Living. So glad you're here. Yes, as it says, I am Reverend Rodney Gittens, and we have a wonderful treat in store for you. I'd like to, first of all, just welcome you all to this wonderful community. And we are One Love Center for Spiritual Living. It's our mission to provide a stable and welcoming community for all who choose to learn, practice, grow, and play in the unfolding of their understanding of spiritual principles and spiritual living. Also, we have a vision of the world as a sacred environment where spiritual living flourishes through the continual growth and development of the learning and application of spiritual principles. Also, One Love Center practices compassion and service, love in action, and joyous, prosperous giving in the community. And our community has been lovingly created as a place of fellowship, meditation, prayer, sacred and healing service, musical celebration, classes, workshops, and spiritual film. And so we want to recognize all those who are with us for the first time, or maybe you've been repeat visitors or guests or members. Welcome. And just invite everyone to just open your heart, open your mind, your soul, fully open the spirit. As we say, we recognize the splendor of the infinite divine spirit that is you. Please know that we support you in being the best that you choose to be in this glorious life. And we thank you for celebrating spirit with us today. Welcome to a place where love grows. Yes. And yes, love does grow. And we're just and it grows with our understanding of it, of how that works in our lives. And we get a better understanding as we take classes and courses and workshops and involve ourselves in this spiritual understanding. And I just want to just remind everyone, because sometimes it gets lost, that it's not about a religious teaching. This is spiritual teaching, spiritual education that is open to all. You don't have to leave your religion at your door. You can bring it with you. Okay. And it's just really important to what mattered to me. And when I first learned about this is that it helps me get a better understanding of whatever religion I practice. You know, the spiritual foundation of the religions is really what's important, regardless of how we practice the religion. Just the fact that we get to know how it works and maybe even why it works, but more importantly, that we get the spiritual principles of whatever religion to work for us for our highest good. So, one of the practices that we just love to do is pray, and that's it. That's really what it's about. And I have a wonderful, wonderful guest person, friend, mentor, sponsor by the name of Rev Jennifer Berkeley. And she is here to do our opening prayer. And I've learned so much from her, and you will as well. And so we go get prayed in and prayed up right here and right now.
Thank you, Reverend Rodney, and thank you all. I'm so honored. This feels heavenly for me to be here today because I think we choose heaven when we really live in the I get tos instead of the I have to. So I'm just so thrilled that I get to be here today and be with all of you. And so I just invite you to take a moment and turn within, close your eyes or soft gaze as we begin the way we always begin, in prayer with knowing, recognizing one divine intelligence, the infinite wisdom that flows through all generations, all beings, and all time. It is the source of truth, love, and wholeness. And it lives in me, it lives in all of us, right here and right now. And so I affirm that I am guided by this sacred intelligence. I affirm that I release all patterns that no longer serve my highest good. And I honor the gifts that my ancestors have given while allowing myself to evolve beyond limitation. And so I know that each one of us here is blessed, as each one of us is a blessing. And I know that our true belonging is not something we earn or something we chase. I belong to life. I belong to love. I belong to the breath that connects all of life. I live authentically, freely, fully, in alignment with the divinity that aligns each of us. And so I am grateful for the blessing of this coming together, of this gathering. And it is with that great, great gratitude that I walk forward in trust, guided by grace, as I release this word into the law of life, knowing it is so, and so it is. Amen.
And so it is, and now it is. Thank you. Thank you. And yes, you have experienced the power of prayer, affirmative prayer, not just any prayer, affirmative prayer. And this is what we do as prayer professionals. We're practitioners, even if we're ministers, we are spiritual practitioners. And our practitioners, as practitioners, we're prayer professionals, ready, willing, and able to remind you that spirit is the power, full of power, charged and already within you for your immediate use. And please know that you can put in a prayer request for support. Right now, use our email, oneLove@onelovecenter.org. All prayer requests are kept in the strictest of confidence. And my request about prayer is that when you make a prayer request, let us know when your prayer is answered. Or if you feel it hasn't been answered, either way, let us know. If not, then we'll continue to pray on that situation for another 7 days. But we're always ready and willing, to offer prayer support. If you need more in-depth time with us, that's usually at a fee basis, and no one is turned away. So please contact us and stay in touch with us, and let us know how we can be of service to you. All right. So this just brings me so much joy from within that we have Jennifer Berkeley here, Reverend Jennifer, retired. However, you probably wouldn't know it. She's busy.
Actively retired.
Actively retired. Yes, indeed. And retired, well, from, she's been not just a pulpit minister, had her own centers, and has created curriculum for our organization, and is also an author. I mean, there's a lot I could probably add to it. However, she's an author, and her book is available for you right now, and it's about belonging. I don't remember the rest of the title to it.
Digging up roots to find my place.
Oh, I just love it.
Which is perfect for today's topic.
Yes, indeed. And we're talking about remembering. We're talking about just being able to unlock the power that is within us that, for the most part, either we take for granted or just don't believe we have. And I think once we have that sense of belonging, then we're tapping into that power. I know for myself, didn't really have a sense of who my ancestors were. Didn't, born in this country and of West Indian descent, and still feeling a bit disjointed in the schools and the community. I didn't really have a strong sense of belonging anywhere. My memory was just of where I was at. I didn't really have a sense of my ancestors. And so I didn't feel very powerful about about being who I am. And I think it's just very important that we are able to, as your book title, like, to dig up some of those roots and find out that they're still there and they're still strong. And this is our interconnectedness.
Mm-hmm.
I know when I came into this teaching and I was presented with a concept that we're all one, and I had the vision in my mind that we're all connected by this invisible string, and unfortunately, it's invisible. we just we just don't believe that we could possibly be connected. When they said that there is no space where I end and you begin, uh, it's like, wow, what a concept. We are interconnected. Uh, that and so uh, in that respect, yeah, perhaps it makes belonging a bit easier. However, I think we have a long way to go. So um, there is divine wisdom when we're able to connect with our ancestors. There is a sense of again of the belonging. But I think we have to choosing heaven. You know, we're choosing love. We're choosing unconditional love. We're choosing peace and harmony and all the ways that we get to honor ourselves and those who have come before. So anyway, I just want to dip just right in. First of all, this July and this part of July, we just celebrated, many of us, Independence Day. Um, Even though it may not seem like that in a lot of places around the country right now, that people are not able to enjoy their personal freedom or freedom as collectively as a people's. However, so happy Independence Day. Listen, I just retired from my 9 to 5, so I'm feeling it on a personal level. Yeah, and so it is important to recognize the intention of the forefathers of this country was to be free from a sovereign reign, to be able to chart your own destiny as as a people, as a country, as a united country. So I just wanted to quickly bring that up. And we are remembering that as well, because there's a saying from my I first learned, I guess, in my 12-step experience: those who fail to remember are doomed to repeat. And without making a political statement, it seems like we may have forgotten a few things. So, so there's a quote that speaks to freedom. I just wanted to bring that up really quickly. And let's see. Yeah, it's coming. It's coming. Okay. It says, there is nothing but freedom. There is nothing but freedom in the universe. It's a Ernest Holmes, Love and Law. And it's like all of these spiritual concepts. It's like love. There's nothing but love. Yeah, love is all there is. And God is love. God is all there is. So therefore, love is all there is. And I fully believe that anything that is unlike freedom is made up in our own mind and practice in our physical reality. But do you want to speak to that, Rev Jennifer?
Sure. I just want to go back for a minute to this word independence that you brought up, because I decided that this 4th of July, other than, really enjoying the fireworks, which I love so much, I am also going to be celebrating interdependence, which I think really speaks to this, this idea that we're not separate from each other, which is, Reverend Rodney, what you started with, and that we're not separate from each other. And that when we realize that, we can really, really surrender our control, because we know that there's a higher guidance that's shaping us all and shaping us all together. And when we do that, we really stop trying to earn the belonging, because I think that's where some of us go. We think we have to earn our place in belonging, but when we realize that there's a divine intelligence that's our compass, and that we're all connected and we're all guided by that by that compass, then we can really start living from a place where we feel whole, where we feel worthy, where we feel authentic and where we feel connection. I posted something on Facebook the day before yesterday that said something like, love me or leave me, I'm a liberal, because now that I'm no longer a practicing pulpit minister, I can really talk about how I feel. And I started getting text messages from people that said, I love you. And the point of that is, and you said before, Reverend Ron, I don't want to make a political comment, but I think that the important thing to understand in our teaching, just like Ernest Holmes says, come from your mosque, come from your temple. We're not going to judge you. Come into this teaching and understand we're all connected, and we're all lovable, regardless of what political persuasion we are, what our stand in diversity is, whatever it is. I can still, the whole point of what we teach is to see beyond the appearance to the truth of who you are. And I can love you in your truth, even if I don't agree with the facts that come out of your mouth. And I don't know if that aligned, Reverend Rodney, with what you were saying, but I think that's really, really important, especially at this time of year, because, not everybody, it's truly not everybody gets to experience the same kind of independence and freedom as everybody else. That's a fact of life. That's not the truth.
And that's true. And the thing too is freedom of choice is so important. A lot of people don't think they have the freedom of choice.
Yes.
And therefore they won't be open to freely speaking from their heart, their soul, their mind, and thinking things just have to be the way they are, or being just free to choose whether to do that or not. So that's big. Thank you so much for that. It made perfect sense and perfect alignment.
Good.
And especially when it comes to belonging. Some people think they don't have a choice when it comes to belonging. I know for myself, I felt like an outsider for a long time. Like I didn't belong anywhere and I didn't have a choice. If they accept me, well, okay. It was like that in relationships as well. Like they like me, great. If they don't like me, I didn't feel like I had a choice or a say in the matter. So,
but if I could also say, like in the idea of choice, because in my book Belonging, one of the whole reasons I wrote the book was to really explore my own sense of self and the way it was shaped by what I inherited. And I think sometimes we think we don't have a choice because we have inherited certain things from our family, the family stories, our cultural roots, our generational beliefs, and we don't know how to continue to embrace that, but at the same time not stay stuck in it. And I think that's where the choice is. Like I love to say, I can live in the I have to, or I can live in the I get to. And for me, choice is all about living in the I get to. And for me, the greatest gift of retirement has been to really live in the moment in the I get to. I can literally wake up every day and say, what is today going to look like? What do I get to do today? And I know that everyone doesn't have that kind of privilege, let's just say. But it's a really sacred way to live. And I think it is possible to some degree, regardless of where you are in your life journey.
Absolutely. And that's one of the great things about this conversation is this can be shared. So people can get to have, even if you don't believe it, just an idea that, hey, maybe that is possible for myself or maybe for someone because that's how it like I grew up very much similar to yourself. Listen, I was taught children are to be seen and not heard. You sit there quietly, go refresh my drink, go get this, go do that. But we don't need to hear from you, and for a long time, I didn't think that was a choice. Or in other words, I wouldn't dare say no, but
you do as you're told. That's what we heard. You do as you're told.
Yeah, that was it. And again, and a lot of times that moves into people's adulthood as well. But yeah, thank you for sharing information about your book, and we're going to talk more about that in a little while. But yeah, the inspiration for your book, and as I mentioned before, Rev Jennifer, is an educator. She's created curriculum for our whole organization, and now this is another way to. I mean, I'm sure it provided freedom for you in writing the book. And I see it as a way that, I can benefit from this as well. I can free myself up from ways I didn't even know that I was in bondage. I'll put it that way. But I love the concept of interdependence as well, because we all are interdependent upon one another, whether we like it or not, know it or not. And I think as long as we're aware of it, we can take advantage of it in a helpful, harmonious way. I mean, I'm sitting on a couch that I have no idea who made it, and it was given to me. So there's all this interdependence happening in ways that we take for granted. I just have to say that, and that's why it's so important to be grateful in all of these things that are occurring in our lives, and that in a way will connect with our sense of belonging. When we start I'm affected in a positive way by what somebody has done or what somebody is doing. And so anyway, there's another quote we want to bring up, the second quote. And would you read that and begin the conversation on that?
Sure. The truth points to freedom under law. Thus, the inherent nature of humanity is forever seeking to express itself in terms of freedom. We shall do well to listen to this inner voice, for it tells us of a life wonderful in its scope, of a love beyond our fondest dreams, of a freedom the soul craves. So I guess the idea behind that inherent nature is seek to express itself in terms of freedom. So I'm just going to say that for me, the idea of freedom was really very tied into the idea of belonging. And I think, like you were saying, Rodney, that Reverend Rodney, you didn't feel like you always belonged, where you were, because I think that we have to, if we really want to be free, that we have to really start recognizing the ways that we try to control ourselves to fit in or to feel safe. You see, that was my thing growing up, trying to control things so that I could feel safe.
Yeah.
That was paramount to me. And so how can you really be free if you're trying to, if you're constantly living in a place of control and trying the freedom? And I know that in our teaching, we do spiritual mind treatment, etc. We want to put things into law, which is, the soul, the fertile soil, the subjective, it relates to the subjective, and that's where the place we manifest from. And I believe that that's so important, but I also believe that it's not just the subjective, and that's where the place we manifest.
Sorry. Yeah.
That's okay. And so what I really have learned in the course of my life and all my exploration is that it's not just about what we put in, not just into law, into ourselves, but it's also about what we take away. Because we are always shaping ourselves. And we're always shaping ourselves by what we are, the old, science of mind, change your thinking, change your life. It's all about shaping, right? Through your thought, you can shape your life. But I also believe that it's about, in some way, unshaping your life, undoing your life. So it's not just about what we put in, it's also about what we remove, what we take out. And if I could just, I know there's the quote that a teacher that both Reverend Rodney and I loved, who's unfortunately no longer with us, Nirvana Gale, said he used to tell me all the time that the fire of spirit is within you, not to destroy you, but to destroy anything that is not you. And I actually did I'll just really briefly read this. It's a very short. In my book, I have a whole chapter on becoming undone. And I say a spiritual teacher once told me, the fire of spirit isn't here to destroy us, but to burn away everything that isn't truly us. And that idea stayed with me, like Michelangelo's famous words, I saw the angel in the marble. And say, I could get like emotional reading this. I saw the angel in the marble and carved until I set them free. It's a beautiful metaphor for the process of uncovering the essence of who we really are, because each of us is like an intricate sculpture already whole, but waiting to be revealed. And I just think we can't lose sight of that when we think about freedom. So freedom is not just about what are we looking to shape, right? Thinking we'll be free. But understanding that we also have to remove, we have to, the shape is malleable, and we have to do some reshaping and some undoing to make that happen. And there's just as much freedom in that as the other.
Yeah, it's interesting because I see that in another way as well. And thank you for that. A lot of people think I have to gain things to be free, even gain freedom.
Yeah.
And the other day, somebody was telling me about somebody who's a hoarder. And people think the more I have, the better off I'll be, even if it's money. But sometimes we also know that as we let go, as we release, we become more free we become free to truly be open, to really, as the word you use, to get, and there's a flow of giving and getting, because when we get, and we have to get before we can give. That's just, it's just how it works. It's like a breath. You have to breathe in before you can give a breath out. And so the whole concept of letting go, which is sometimes foreign to a lot of people, it's like, I got it. Now that I got it, I want to keep it. I have it, and it actually, and as we have that closed fist around what it is that we've acquired, that just shuts off the flow of energy, the flow of receiving and giving. And there was something else I wanted to mention from your previous comment about being vulnerable to love. When we're not recognizing about finding ways to love ourselves or learning how to love ourselves, well, we certainly are not able to love another. And there's usually a sense of not wanting to be vulnerable. And that is a great freedom to be vulnerable.
Absolutely.
It's like, yeah.
After I actually published my book, I went through like a 2-week crisis, because I felt so vulnerable because I put so much out there, but there was such freedom in that, when I got through the panic of it, the afterglow was absolute pure freedom because. And I just recently read an author, her name's Maggie Smith, and she's a writer, and she says, and this is true for anything, put it out there and move on. And you're right. People hold on to things. And, I see that all the time, and it keeps them really, really, really stuck, because it's like glue. And I look at people and I think for some people, the more they have, the less free they are because they're so attached to what they have and so afraid of losing it. And it's really
it definitely is a paradox in a sense. Now I'm laughing because I'm just thinking about a lot of events that led up and yesterday where I'm telling people about our apple tree, and it's full of all these young green apples. They're not ripe,
Mm,
and I'm protecting fiercely these apples from the squirrels. It's
mm,
like, and so when you're talking about that right now, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I am really worked up about these squirrels. Uh, and I've been having like impure thoughts about what to do with these squirrels.
mm.
Like uh, I got to stop them.
Get
Uh,
that BB gun out.
yes, yes. Thank God I
I've
don't
seen
own one.
people do that in my youth, which not pretty.
No, and
And you wouldn't do that.
yeah, I wouldn't.
No.
It didn't stop me from thinking about it, but I wouldn't. And so, uh, so in this moment, I just took a breath and felt, you know what? I'm not gonna fight the squirrels. Whatever we get is what we get, and I instantly felt a sense of freedom about that.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, kind of so proud of our apple tree, and we're gonna have all this apple juice and all. You know,
Hmm.
I'm like, just let it go.
Yeah. Because
Let
isn't real freedom letting go? Isn't
yeah,
that what I mean? That's what freedom is. It's letting
yeah,
go.
yeah. Well, two things. One is about the previous comment you had made as well about holding on to stuff and the freedom that you received from you freed yourself from whatever's in there that you thought needed to be held so tightly to the vest. In the 12-step realm, in the meetings in the communities, there's a quote. There's a not a quote. It's a uh, what's the word? Anyway, a phrase. It says, "We're as sick as our secrets."
Uh-huh.
You know, the things that we hold on to, they eventually make us sick and sicker. And then that's why the rooms, the meetings of AA and NA and all those other anonymous programs work, is because people share them, share whatever's going on, and they feel better. You
Hmm.
know, we just feel better when we're able to let go of something we have to hold on to, and we become, you know, subjected to that, you know, to that energy of keeping that energy in,
Hmm.
and not freeing ourselves up from having to guard that vulnerable spot. And it's and I think and I get it from your book that you have really gotten that for yourself. And maybe it wasn't intentional. Maybe you didn't write the book thinking, "Oh, I can't wait. I'm going to be free." You know, that wasn't your intention, was it?
No, I mean, the very first quote in the book, it's digging up roots. We bury the past thinking it will disappear, but its roots grow wild beneath the surface, tangling around our present until we have the courage to dig it up. So I was looking for answers in writing the book. I thought if I wrote about the trauma, if I wrote about the lack of belonging that I felt, that I can analyze it. There's no freedom in that. I mean, there is some freedom in understanding, but I have long believed that the first step of healing is awareness. And so it really, in writing the book, it just made me more aware. And it actually, this little girl that I wrote about, which is me, from the age of 2 to 36, because it's a memoir, um, I just really didn't think much of her. And actually, in writing the book, I absolutely fell in love with her. I
Mm.
fell in love with her, and there was such freedom in that, and that I had no idea. I will tell you that the why I wrote the book when I started was not the why I wrote the book when it was finished.
Mm.
And in fact, the story I started with in the book ended up being the story I ended with.
Oh,
And it there's been so many gifts. And another thing, and I just want to say this because Reverend Michael used to say this all the time, that anything can be healed in consciousness. It doesn't actually have to happen. So you can go back to something 20 years ago and heal it in consciousness. And part of what's happened for me in writing this book, and people that have read it, and I've had the most amazing conversations with people who are now reading the book, is that they went and they said, "Oh, and when this happened, but I just loved that little girl so much. I just wanted to give her all the biggest hug." And I'm thinking, all the love I thought I didn't get as a child, I'm getting now. All these people saying, I love you so much, and hugging me, hugging that little girl. There's healing in that. There's healing in that in my consciousness, because we're all connected, right? It's an interdependence. And whether somebody's hugging me in my book or hugging me in real life, I'm still benefiting from that love, because the love has no boundary, no wall, no container. And yeah, it's really just, it's remarkable. And I just encourage anyone, because I know some people don't like to dig up the past.
Oh yeah.
They'd rather not know. And, I don't want, and I'm not saying that you should, but any way that somebody could really get in touch with the essence of who you are and fall in love with that all over again is really, I think, so healing and so revealing.
And fall in love all over again, and possibly for the very first time.
Exactly. All over again, or for the first time. Yes.
Yeah. And thank you for that, because I realized there was something that needed to happen for myself.
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't go digging just to see what I could come up with.
Mm-hmm.
No, there was hurt, there was pain, there was doubt, there was frustration, there was worry, there was a sense of feeling unloved by myself, or therefore anybody else, because if I couldn't identify what love is, and how do I know when it's coming or where it's coming from?
Well,
and
and
then,
even if, I'm sorry, but even if you don't love yourself, right? And even if somebody else is loving you, it's going to be impossible to recognize that love.
Yeah.
So,
and of course, that led to me looking for love in all the wrong places.
Absolutely. Me
Like,
too. Me
well,
too.
isn't that love? Is that love? Yeah.
Yeah. And holding on to any sense or any glimpse of affection or love, regardless of how, if it was the right place or the wrong place.
That's right. That's right.
Getting
And
really,
it reminds me of was it Marianne Williams? Was it Surrender to Love, or something to that effect? However, we have a wonderful quote by Jennifer Berkeley. Please read that.
We are always unfolding and becoming, and when we surrender to that journey, we belong wherever we are. And so I will say that was the final gift, not the final, but that was like the closing of when I finished the book. That was the realization I had. And the realization I had was, once we really surrender to our becoming, then we belong wherever we are. And the truth is, and I think everybody could agree with this, whether they like the journey or not, that we're always in the place of becoming. We're always becoming. And so if we can just accept that, and accept that sometimes, getting there, like Emerson says, it's not, a straight path, it's a zigzag. And sometimes there are detours, but it doesn't mean, I have a whole chapter in the book about, riding the lazy river. Sometimes we bump across the edges, sometimes it's swift, sometimes it's slow, sometimes we even go backwards, but we're still becoming, because even though we're going in a circle, we're not the same person at the end of that journey. And so really it is about accepting the becoming, and then realizing, I belong here. This is exactly where I'm supposed to be. This is exactly where I belong. And that was really a powerful realization and a powerful gift for me of writing that book, because some people may say, but I don't like what I've become. But as you said before, there's always a choice somewhere, whether you think so or not. You've made that choice, and you're continuing to support that choice. And it is all part of your becoming, whether you like it or not. So.
Well, thank you and I love that, because it reminds me of what many of us will say as well. I'm not there yet, as though there's this destination in our becoming, part of the journey. I'm getting there, or I'm not there yet. And it closes off some of those choices. It closes off being vulnerable. It closes off the acceptance of who we are and where we're at, and that we are constantly becoming.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because even in that, we are who we're choosing to be, and it's, yeah. The very last line of my book speaks exactly to that. It said, and in that realization, I discovered something essential. The story of belonging is never finished. It is meant to be rewritten, reimagined, and lived over and over again and again. And that's the truth, because, even as we believe, once we shed the mortal coil, we're still becoming, and we're still belonging. And we got to go with that flow. We have to lean into that flow and trust, truly.
That's true, and it goes to a calling as well. It's like, it reminds me of like, hey, Rodney, come in for dinner, like, I'm coming, it's like, I be coming, we're always in this process of I would prefer to say that we are always in the process of coming into our greater good, from one good to another, from one success to another, from one goal to another. It doesn't just stop. Like, I remind people, I'm retiring from a 9 to 5. I'm not retiring from life, So I'm becoming more of who I'm intended to be.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It doesn't end. And it becomes something different. And it like your retirement from the 9 to 5 is going to give you the freedom to become something perhaps that you haven't even begun to imagine yet.
Yes.
That's what trust is all about. Trusting the lazy river, spirit carrying you and taking you here and taking you there. And it's a beautiful journey if you just surrender to it.
I've mentioned to people, this is like my own belief I've been using for a while now, especially since I came up to about retirement. It's like, I'm going to stick with plan B, I got a plan A, plan A is I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. But plan B, I'm just going to be, and I love that. I can add that I'm becoming. And I have no idea what that looks like.
I becoming.
Becoming.
That's great. That's great.
Thank you. Wonderful conversation. Was there anything else that you wanted to read or share before we go into affirmations?
If I could, and this is brief, I'd like to just share the last poem in the book.
Please do.
Which is entitled, hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Which is entitled Becoming.
All right.
It says, a journey shaped by choices not made until they were. At crossroads waiting for the wind to decide, hesitation or fate. Trusting what was unmade, still trusting what carried me, shaped me, led me to be seen, to be heard, to be loved. I spoke, then wrote, then knew myself a poet, finding in words a home that had always been waiting. The journey of unfolding, unpacking, discarding, discovering, expressing never ends. The past still whispers, the future still calls, and I remain in motion, rooted yet reaching, always becoming.
Oh, that's great. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. And thank you for this opportunity to speak from my heart. I appreciate it.
Oh, I do as well. Thank you for saying yes. And everybody, here it is. The information on her book is there. And you're also on Facebook as well, so folk can follow
I'm on
you
Facebook, Instagram. Yeah. Instagram is Rev JB18, and that's in the book. And my email, revjb18@gmail.com. And there's also I want to point out a coupon code that's available right now. If you buy the book, it will ZGXGMC off. If it helps with the cost of the shipping, because there's been a delay on the Amazon distribution. So I wanted to
Oh,
give people the shipping break.
great, great. Because mine's just still in the mail. I'm like, well,
Mm.
I don't know what
Well, if
happened.
you ordered it on Amazon it's on
Oh,
overtime,
okay.
but
Yeah.
it
So
wasn't, they're not going to be shipping it until the end of the year, which I don't understand their algorithms, but
okay, that makes sense.
I'm not trying to anymore. I've given that
Okay.
up.
All right. So yeah, I just recently when you gave that information to me, I did do that. Okay.
Great. Thank you, Rodney.
Great. So we are now going to make firm so much of the
Convert.
conversation. Thank you. And yeah, let's start off with. I'll start off with the first one, and invite each one to take a breath. And as we exhale, we'll do the affirmation. We'll do this twice. So, it is so that in this moment, I remember the truth of who I am. Let's take a breath. Do that again. And it is so that in this moment, I remember the truth of who I am. And we'll have Jennifer do the next one.
Take a breath. It is so that I honor my ancestors' legacy, which actively enriches my present and future. Take a breath. Just embrace that. And I read it again. It is so that I honor my ancestors' legacy, which actively enriches my present and my future. Breathing it in.
And please do the last one.
It is so that I get to shed my limiting beliefs and embrace belonging from the higher truth of my divine nature. So we just breathe that in and embrace it, embody it. And I repeat, it is so that I get to shed my limiting beliefs and embrace belonging from the higher truth of my divine nature.
It is so, and so it is, and now it is. Thank you. Okay, we're going to invite Reverend Jennifer back in just a moment. Oh, how wonderful it is to know that we have a way to be grounded, not just with affirmations, with affirmative prayer, and other tools as well. However, right now, please join me as we go even deeper within, because we're rolling in the deep. And allowing ourselves to reflect and inspect our interconnectedness, our interdependence, our belonging. So I am knowing there's only one power, one presence, one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life now. It's the truth of life everywhere, that there is nothing but interconnectedness because everything is made from the one, from the creator that's made everything out of itself. So I am knowing that, yes, there is this divine essence that is shared amongst each and every one. Each and every ones of the one. So I am knowing that this sense and knowingness of belonging, uncovering as best we can the truth and the true nature stemming from our ancestors, and which has been passed along in loving ways and in any fashion that has shaped each and every one of us into who we are. I am knowing that we can look beneath the surface, that I get to look beneath the surface and know as well and as each and every one is capable and available to scratch the surface or dig beneath the surface and look at the roots and look at how it's all intertwined with all the aspects of life, not just in an individual life, but the life of all. And that all of the ways that of living this life, all the ways that matter, all the things of importance, our health, well-being, relationships, finances, all of this good is all wrapped up in a sense of how do I belong in my world? How do I live? And how do I love my world? And I'm knowing this for each and every one that allows themselves to be vulnerable enough to say, yes, I am open to look and explore. I get to look below and beyond and above into the true nature of who I am and who I am becoming. And so I know that this word is going forth and empowering and enabling each and every one to speak for themselves, have the freedom to speak for themselves, have the choice to use their freedom for their greater good and for the greater good of all. And that is because we are one. And the good that we choose for ourselves is the good that we choose for all. And I mean good, capital G. Capital GOOD. It's all good. And that anything unlike the perfection that we know to be true about ourselves, deep down we know is true. Anything unlike it dissolves and dissipates into the nothingness from which it came. You simply just know deep down that love is the order of the day. Unconditional love, freedom of choice, freedom of the independence and free to be interdependent, releasing bonds and bondage and anything that would stop or slow down or hinder freedom of choice and freedom to get what is good. Freedom to get the opportunity to give. And so I speak this word knowing that it is already done, it is already manifesting, already showing up in wonderful ways, seen and unseen, known and unknown, not even knowing where the good comes from or why the good is showing up, except that being vulnerable, getting to be vulnerable, to be open for the divine to express itself fully in surrender, in acceptance, in love. And so I let it go. I let it be the good that is continually unfolding itself to be in greater and greater expressions of itself, of love, because it's all love. And I affirm it by saying it is so. It's just the way it is. Let it be in the becoming. And it is happening right now. And so I just simply say and invite each one to join me by saying it is so, and so it is, and now it is. Peace and blessings, beloveds. Yes. And that is a form of prayer, affirmative prayer. Could be 5 or 7 steps. They all work. And if you need support, if you need prayer support, even if you're not sure and you think you might need prayer support, you can make a prayer request to us. You can email us at onelovecenter.org and put in your prayer request. And please know that that will be prayed on for a period of 7 days. If you need more in-depth time, we can make arrangements for that as well. And my request is that you let us know when your prayer has been answered, or it has, if you feel it hasn't been answered. And we just love to pray. We'll continue to pray, and all your requests are kept in the strictest of confidence. Thank you. And while we're giving thanks, I thank all those who have been participating and contributing to One Love Center for all of these years. And even if it hasn't been a lot of years, thank you for your contribution, for your donations, for your tithe, for your offerings. We are grateful. And you can continue to do so, or you can do so for the first time. You can use the Cash Me app at $1LoveCSL, or you can go to our website and use PayPal as well, or whatever form of gifting that you deem acceptable by you. Any amount is welcome. Whatever amount you feel comfortable, we are welcome to receive. So thank you so much for that. And once again, as you see in the banner, you can use PayPal, go to our website, One Love at onelovecenter.org, or the Cash Me app, $1LoveCSL. And so it is time for our affirmation of abundance to assist you in going within to give from what you get, and to get from what you give, because there's nothing but circulation. So we'll do our affirmation of abundance. However you like to prepare yourself. I know you can put your hand over your heart. I say feel that cosmic vibration from the giving and getting of your breath and your heart, the blood exchange, and all of that energy is all part of the same energy of life. So we repeat the affirmation. We recite the affirmation that money, as one of the many gifts of spirit, is good. And as I share my offerings, I know that I am actively creating a space to receive more gift, more money, and more good. Oh, and I am grateful for the ability to give and for the good work these gifts do in our center and in our world. And so it is, and now it is. Thank you. We have some announcements. And we are looking for a member or a friend of a member or a friend of a friend to assist us with our technical, with our broadcasts. Please contact us to our email, onelove at onelovecenter.org, to be of service. Bless you and thank you. And we're looking for volunteers. If you want to just learn how to do this or share what you know, we appreciate your availability. And we have the wonderful Lita Perez, practitioner in training, who is assisting us now. And sometimes it's myself, sometimes it's Ellen Swazo, our practitioner, and other people who have stepped up. And so you don't have to do it every Sunday. So we are most certainly welcome your intention to participate. Also, there's a convention, Centers for Spiritual Living Convention, Convention of the Americas in Chapala, Mexico, July 22nd to the 26th. You connect with Ellen Swazo. I'm not sure if the payment plan is still available. However, connect at COTA Coda Las COTALAS Americas at gmail.com. That's Convention of the Americas. So check in there. You can find it online. You put Convention of the Americas 2025. Also, we're looking to start up a class coming up most likely by the end of the summer, move into living beyond your limiting beliefs. And if you don't think you have limiting beliefs, well, then you probably need to take this class. And you can register for our class, Beyond Limits. Go to our website. Let us know your intention to join. And it's onelovecenter.org/events. And thank you very much. There's also the Summer Soul Visioning Retreat. That's Friday, August 22nd to the 24th. There are 3 sessions a day for 3 days. Start any time, attend as many sessions as you like. And visioning is a really important part of not just this organization, but many organizations, whether they're spiritual or religious or not. And Ray Jordan is a practitioner emeritus, and she is an awesome facilitator when it comes to visioning. There is also a visioning circle. You can check it out online and see if it's not too late to join. There's that as well. Thank you for that. And I don't think there are any more announcements. We're going to bring Reverend Jennifer back. Yay. And
I do have one announcement, Rodney,
yes,
if it's okay.
yes.
This Thursday, the 10th of July, I'm doing a free Zoom event on the topic of belonging at 7:30 Eastern Time. And if you don't have the link, I've been posting it on Facebook and Instagram. If you don't have the link, you could message me on either of those platforms, and I'll be happy to send you the link.
Okay, great. Great. All right, awesome. And any other final thoughts, words that you'd like to share before we go into prayer and music?
I will just say, as Reverend Nirvana always said, go forth and multiply the consciousness of all good.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that. Yeah. So we're going to go into prayer, and I invite Reverend Jennifer to join me in this closing prayer. And I invite each and every one to join us as we go within. And just knowing that there's just one power that is everywhere equally present, that is available to each and every one, that each one gets to use based on their understanding and desire and dream and intention for a wonderful, great life, into a wonderful life of becoming more of who we are intended to be. I pass my word to Jennifer, Reverend Jennifer.
And so as I simply embrace that becoming, I know that I belong wherever I am.
Yes.
I know that I belong in spirit.
Yes.
I know that I belong in the interconnectivity of life. And I know that as I am divinely guided, guarded, and led in that flow, that all is well, all is good.
Yeah.
I am moving from glory to greater glory.
And this is known for each and every one who is hearing this live or the recording, that as this week unfolds, there's greater availability to dig and look beneath the surface, to see, the connectedness, see how the roots are connected and intertwined, and yes, that we are all one. And then until we meet again, we know that the good that we desire is so good. It is so. And so it is.
So
and now it is.
Amen.
Amen. Right on. We have a wonderful song. That just reminds me of connectedness and lovingness. And it's a standard, and it's a good one. So it's Ricky Byers, the Agape Choir. I love myself so much. All right, so let's bring that up.
That you can love
Okay, listen, I want to thank those who have been watching and those who will be sharing this wonderful message. Thank you, Julie, and thank you, Ellen, and thank you, Melissa, and all those who I'm not able to mention right now. I can't see it all, but thank you all, and thank you again, Reverend Jennifer. A blessing to know you and to have you, and let's do it again soon. Okay, peace and blessings, everyone.